Welcome again to parts 3 of 4, or hopefully of 4, of the BIC 900 service. We have the mechanism all back together. Next thing we need to do is put the speed selector back together. But before we can do that, we have to service the motor. So in order to service the motor, you'll need a prying device, a flat blade screwdriver, a 1.5mm Allen tool, some cotton swabs, some denatured alcohol, and a little bit of machine oil. So let's get to it. The motor is quite simple. It's very easy to disassemble. You don't even have to take it out of the plinth. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to flip up the turntable, and there down there is our little Allen head key. Let's see if I can get the camera to zoom in on it. There, close. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, we're going to put the Allen key in. This one's in there really tight, which means somebody might have been messing with it. Let's see if we can bust this one loose without breaking it. There we go. So the motor shaft comes off. Once you do that, we're going to flip it back over again. And we're going to get a prying device. Very simply put, is a flathead screwdriver. And you're going to pry very gently by twisting here. And you're going to hear it pop up. It's just double-sided stick tape. Don't get rough with it. This is just a beauty cover. And inside there, you will see a little... Come on. There we go. Those little two tabs at either side. So just press on one while you're pushing the bearing through. This might be one of those one or two-handed deals again. In fact, yep, it's going to be a two-handed deal. Let me just set the camera down here momentarily. Hopefully it doesn't fall. And we're going to take our screwdriver and we're going to push on the little tab to get it loose. And now you can pull the thrust bearing to the side. If you want, you can pull it out, but it's probably not necessary. We're going to pull it out just for the hell of it. So from underneath, push up on the shaft that you had just gotten loose, pull the stator out. Two things you want to check is make sure that the magnet assembly has not come unglued, in which case you will need to very carefully center it and re-glue it back to the shaft. We're going to get our Q-tips here and our bottle of alcohol. Get that Q-tip nice and wet. And, excuse me here, we're going to clean the motor shaft first. Get all the old grease out. Oop. And then we're going to do the same here. Excuse me just a moment. Put the camera down, or at least point it down so I can get my hands on it. And we are going to clean the motor shaft so that it's nice and pretty looking again. And the oiler that you last used, which I seem to have misplaced, there it is. We're going to put a couple of drops of oil inside of the bearing here and on the shaft here. Reinsert the motor in the shaft. Now there will be a little bit of resistance just because of the magnetic field, but it shouldn't be frozen, obviously. And we're just going to snap that bearing back into place just like that. And if you didn't get any of your oily or greasy fingers on there, you can just press the cover back on in the position that it was in, since it is just double-sided stick tape. It will usually stay there. If not, a little dab of super glue won't hurt it. Just don't get it in the bearing, obviously. And so now we can tilt this back up. We can grab the motor pulley and put it back on there. And you want about maybe 2 millimeters of clearance between the motor bottom of the motor pulley and the shaft. There we go. And we'll just put this on here finger tight. just like that. Make sure that you got just the tiniest smidgen of play in there. That's fine. And we'll clean the pulley off later. This motor's ready to rock though. And so now that we've done that, we're going to reattach the speed selector just like we did before. And you may want to press up on this to get it in there. Try to do it single-handedly, but I may have to put the camera down again. In fact, I will. So hold on just a second. We'll get the speed selector rail reattached. Just like that. And then you can put the derailleur, which the pin on the bottom of the derailleur here fits into that hole there, and obviously this one goes over this shaft standing up. So you just fidget that into place. I really need to get a tripod. This would be so much easier and quicker with a tripod. Put the spring on, and this is under tension, so I'm probably going to have to put the camera down again. Yep. Okay. Just a moment. Last thing you want is the little E-clip to go flying into oblivion, never to be seen again. And although I have spares, I'd rather not have to exercise looking for one. This is never the fun part. And you may need to grab a pair of pliers or something to get it on there that's fussy, like this one is. Darkness. There we go. So, after fussing with that, that's all back together. So just do a double check here. We have the little spring here to reinstall in this point here, between here and here. Sorry for the blurry images there. There used to be a little foam pad there. You can put something there if you want to. I really don't give a shit. It's just a noise deadening type thing. So the mechanism's reassembled. Let's just do some checks here. Make sure this doesn't bind, which it doesn't appear to. Maybe a little loose and sloppy, but nothing terrible. Speed selector, derailleur does work. So the next thing we have to do, which you probably won't find on many BIC turntables, is somebody's busted off the armrest. There's a nice big hole there where it used to be. That's just because somebody got rough with it. There's the bottom edge of it there, and there was the nut that used to hold it on. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take a very fine drill and drill out that bottom, and then just screw it into the chassis with a washer, get it at the right positioning, and we'll put the platter back on, and we'll give it a test and see what we did right. Oh, and as far as finding drive belts for this thing, there are two sources that I know of that have the correct drive belts, which are crucial for stable speed. One because of thickness, the other because of elasticity. The two places to get them from are Classic Audio in San Diego or Hollywood Beverly Electronics in Los Angeles. And it's a very distinct belt. Let me grab one here. Keep a stock of them. It's that kind of neon Home Depot orange color, and it's a specific thickness. And if you just use a generic belt, it's either not enough elasticity and it murders the motor, or it's not porous enough, it's too slick and you get wow and flutter issues. So the belt's crucial. But in any case, what we'll do now is off camera I'll repair the armrest. We'll put everything back together. I'll shine up the plinth so it looks a little bit nicer, and then we'll put it under test and we'll see if everything works correctly. So stay tuned for the next video, part 5.